Hello! So today we are here for this video to learn how to do simple eyelets on a project. So the eyelets are basically creating some, space and airy, open like holes in between the stitches here. So it makes it very, very stretchy. And one important thing is to see the design quite well, it's very important that you block your work at the end. So I'm gonna show you how it's made. It's not very complicated. The basic of that is keep good track of what you do on one side of the project and the other side of the project. It makes a texture, if you look here, that is quite reversible. So the concept of wrong and right side is not exactly meaningful, but we do have wrong side and right side. So what I like to do is define the right side as being the odd numbered rows, like 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. And the wrong side being the even numbered rows. So here we are. I have started here a little sample. So the first few rows here are basic garter stitch. And then I have knitted here, as you can see, when I expand those little holes. So the way we do it here, I have 12 stitches on the needle. The first two and the last two are just going to be knitted the regular way, just knit stitch. And then I'm going to show you how to make the eyelets, which are 4 in that case. So here we are. The first one, first here, I always start with just slipping the first stitch. That's just the way I like to start my project. So I'm just going to slip this one, and like I said, I'm gonna knit the next one. And here, the holes are basically created by adding a stitch and immediately closing it, because we don't want to do an increase. So the first move we do is we do a yarn over, which is essentially, I'll do it again. You take your thread of yarn, you're going around the needle. Okay, so you're adding a loop here, which is not knitted per se, because it's not really, there is no, I would say not, but there is no stitch created. It's just a loop around the needle. And then because we don't really want to increase, we immediately after going to knit 2 together. So we're going to take the next 2 stitches, insert the needle through them all at once and knit them together. And that is creating this first eyelet, the hole here. And we're gonna do this again. We yarn over and we knit 2 together. So in this example, I'm creating the eyelets one after the other. Of course, depending on the pattern and the design, you may have eyelets which are more spaced out during your project. We are doing it right one after the other. Okay, knit 2 together, we did that here. We're gonna do this again. We yarn over, we create the third eyelets, and we knit 2 together, right here. And the last one, same again, we yarn over, and we knit 2 together. And we have created the stitches. And now you can see on your needle, I like to do a little bit of anatomy review here. So you can see that we have the holes designed, and the right above we have the stitch from the yarn over, so which is essentially a loop which is not knitted, and then the knit stitch from the 2 strings of yarn, and the knit 2 together. And you can see it's a little bit like leaning on the left every time here. Now, last 2 stitches, like I said, I do nothing special, so I just knit the last 2. Now we're gonna turn around. Like I said, and this is my choice, but the 2 stitches you do the way you like. I like to just slip the first one to make it tight and then knit the next one. And now here we are on the wrong side, so on the back. Here, what we are going to do is you can find some pattern where it's going to be like knit all, and you can do that. You can knit all of them just the regular way. What I like to do is here we have a normal stitch, a classic one coming from the knit two together. So this one we're going to knit the regular way. This one though, you see there is a big stretch. So what I like to do, and that's, you know, my taste, is to actually knit it through the back loop to kind of close this hole a little tighter. So instead of going to knit here on the front, I'm going to knit through the back loop. I have a special video about the knit through the back loop, and you can watch this one as well. But here's how it works. Instead of inserting from the front, you insert in the back here. And you knit the usual way. And you see, this is kind of closing this hole a little better. It's a little, you know, more defined. And again, and what I recommend here is to really pay attention about what you see, so you know what to do when you see it, as opposed to following exactly a numbered pattern where if you made a mistake, you're gonna carry this mistake all the way. When you know how to identify what you see and know what to do, I think it's a little more practical. So here, this is a regular knit stitch coming from the knit two together. You can actually see here, if you look closer, the two threads of yarn right below. So this one we knit the regular way. Oops. And then this one is the stretch one coming from the yarn over. So we insert through the back loop and we knit it. And again, we knit this one and we knit through the back loop. We knit this one and the stretch one through the back loop. And then we knit the last two the regular way. And you can see we start to have this defined. I'm gonna put this white thing so you can see better without the, you can see here that we are starting to see the eyelets defining this breathy texture that is quite open. So it's pretty magical using merino wool and this kind of texture, because you have the warmth and softness of the merino. So it's, merino is a natural thermoregulator, but with this texture, it's actually even more breathable, which is a very, very nice, you know, in the warmer days or when the temperature is changing, you know, 20 times a day, like in the fall or in the spring. So I like this one very much, and I hope you do too. This texture is used on the breathy bandana and the breathy top. So this is how the basic stitches are made. You can find other ways of making them, and, you know, depending on the rhythm that you're going to use, we've done like one after the other, but you can find different type of texture, or, you know, not having like one on top of the other, but a little bit sliding on the side, and making, you know, designs and patterns with those little eyelets. So I hope you like it. This is how it's made. So on the right side, you do yarn over, knit two together. That is going to create the hole, which is the eyelet. And on the wrong side, you basically knit all the stitches, but the little caveat that I like to do is when you have the stitches, which is a little stretched, coming from the addition and the yarn over, it's to knit it through the back loop, which is my little, I don't know if it's a secret, but that's my little thing. So I wanted to share it with you. That's how it works. I hope you like it. Let me know in comment, and if you have any question, feel free to reach out. Happy knitting, everyone.